What is up? We are back. It's the deadly duo or the dynamic duo, whatever you want to call us. And it's another
That's right.
episode of Bro Talk. It's me, Tony Sanders, and of course my bro with me always,
What up?
Jeffrey Komikhan Henson.
Hey, how's it going? We got a couple people in the chat already. What's going on, guys? It looks like Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy, first guy here. He says, "Thank you, great legend." Fuchsia only. What's up, Fuchsia? Good to see you tonight. And our boy, the one, the only, who that comics, who. What's up, buddy? Good to see you,
Who
man.
that?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, a lot better actually. I am. Thank you very much. But yeah,
So yeah, a lot of stuff went down tonight. A good friend of mine, I consider a good bro, the
same
great
here.
legend. Like I had a blast with him at C2E2 and the Comic Core and Blaster Stash It. And so he's I'd say like Ric Flair retiring. You know how
Yeah,
he's on
I
a
agree
legend
with
contract.
that. I,
He,
I agree. Hey, Splash Pages, good to see you, man. Mr. White
hey,
Gloves.
Splash Pages. Yeah, he's on
You
a legend
know,
contract. That's what I would say that is.
yeah, for sure. And he's one of the first guys. Like when I first started getting into YouTube, like he would he helped me out. Like just talk to me about things, and he's supported me step by step. He was there for me when I had like 25 subscribers, not even that many, like totally cool dude. Always there to help, bring the community together. So it is like in a sense sad to see him go, but in a way he's not really leaving. I think he's always going to be here. I don't, honestly, I don't think you can keep him away. Like even he says he's going to retire. I don't see
That's what I say.
it.
He's on a Ric Flair contract.
Yeah, that's right.
He's still signed to the Comic Core, but he'll make special guest appearances, drop some elbows in
Absolutely.
the ring on us.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, Comic Blaster 74? Yeah, thank you. Happy Easter to you too. Hope you had a good day. Musica rap trap variadas variadas. Hey, hola. How are you doing? CVNT get enough. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up.
Like, I didn't even know Jeffrey knew Spanish. You've been holding out, Jeffrey.
There's a lot of things people don't always know. Yeah. Um, so yeah, we just got done. We were both watching Legends live stream about his retirement, and
Yeah.
you know, it is kind of one of those things. I know how it goes. It's hard. It can be real hard to juggle life and a YouTube channel, and
Oh
I
yeah.
totally respect that for sure.
Because it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like between family, job, and YouTube and collecting and try to do all this crazy stuff and have a blast doing it. I mean, yeah, I can understand, like you want to sit back. I mean, like I said, like there's times, like on our shows that we do or whatever, there's like stuff comes up, something happens, but we try to pull through and do it, and there's sometimes certain circumstances where we can't do that. And so, for him to have to step back and, take some time off or whatever, that's cool, and uh I am, like I said, there's my son in the back. Put some pants on, boy.
dang. Oh, uh, hey, Comic
Oh,
Sam,
you
good to
can
see
just
you
see when he
tonight.
got the switch. When he grabbed the switch, you can see him. It was hilarious. But yeah, that was my son. He's usually in some of my videos earlier on. You can see him in the videos, but he was grabbing his switch, and I was just messing with him. So yeah,
Oh,
like I said, if he's, I'm glad that he's at least still going to do the monthly show that he's talking about doing or whatever. I am available for that show, because he's been like, he was like my actual first guest for the Grail show. So I would like to be a guest on his show coming up, so that'd be kind of cool to be interviewed by the legend.
yeah, for sure. I'm
Like,
always open too.
because
That'd
that'd
be
be cool,
something cool
I
to do
mean,
as well.
and like I said, like if you've never heard
I
the legend
agree.
rhyme live, it's a spectacle to behold.
I'll tell you, there's lots of Legend has some great memories on YouTube, man. Like if you watch the Comic Core on Friday nights, he's off the wall sometimes, and he's just a fun guy to be around to watch. like he's an entertainer. He said it himself tonight. He just loves to entertain, and he's very good at it. So it's always a good time.
He's a really down to earth dude. I had, like I said, I had a blast, man. Like I said, like one of the guys that and what's cool is like I live in Oklahoma, he lives in Texas, so we're not that far from each other. But like it's cool that I got to meet him in Chicago of all places. So
yeah, for sure.
And so and Comic Sam, yes, this is a family show. I didn't know my son was going to be streaking around in his own.
Oh, did you do anything today for Easter, Tony? Did you guys go over to the family or anything?
Yeah, I went to my in-laws. Went to their. You know how you go to your in-laws and you hang out with them, and you sit there and talk or whatever.
Eat a bunch of food
And get full, and then all sneak out the door without cleaning up.
Yes, right. That's the most important part. Yeah, about the same thing. Ate some ham and some candy. Did a couple of YouTube shows today, or maybe just one. Maybe this is my second one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were planning on going a little early, and then I seen like the legend. I was like, nope, let me watch this because I'm not gonna be disrespecting the great legend. So,
for sure.
So I'm just like, we will wait for Bro Talk. Bro Talk can wait.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the thing about Bro Talk is it's a totally unplanned, unorganized. We don't have a time to go. We just jump on at 7:15, at 7:07, 6:20.
We were going to come on yesterday, but like something came up at my house, so I couldn't really get on. So it was just like one of those deals. But today, it's Easter, and happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Hope you guys got some candy and stuff. I've been eating candy all day like crazy.
Man, I stay away from candy because like I don't know, it's just like when you have like 4 kids, candy's just like poison.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet for sure. I ate almost the whole box today. That's crazy.
So another announcement was made on the Great Legends retirement show. I guess we call it the retirement show, but like I said, gone but not forgotten. So
all right.
We are like planning on bringing back To Slab or Not to Slab. So that's one of the deals where it was like JD left the show and we were doing the show still, but like something happened to my family and I quit doing the show and I felt like there was like a stigma on the show, so I didn't want to do the show anymore. And economic, he own thing, and like me and him are cool. So like, but it's just like the show is actually, like it was a rotating show. It was never really on my channel. It started on my channel, but like it rotated between all the co-hosts. Because it was, if you go back, you can look and see it was on JD's channel, it was on Economics channel, and it was also
my channel,
Jeffrey's channel. Yeah. So the thing that about the show is that we're gonna start it back up. JD is back on board. It's gonna be me, JD, Jeffrey, Who Dat is still one of the hosts, and C. Woodard is going to be replacing Economics. So we're going to have it on the Comic Core channel because apparently everybody wants the show to come back. And like I said, I felt like, it was one of those shows where it was like something behind it. And then it was like, I just kind of didn't want to do it. But if the people want the show back, I will bring the show back and see where we go from there. And like the other thing that we're gonna do is the wrestling show, and like I'm ready to do the wrestling show.
Yeah,
because like
I'm really ready to do the wrestling show, man.
Because like
it's nice to step away.
I think that's where the tone is gonna reside, is on the wrestling show.
Yeah, and like I started another channel with Comic Books NYC, Soldier Only, Fuchsia Only, and Bake the Snake. We call it freaking direct edition
Yeah,
squad,
I
and it
follow
was
y'all on
for
Instagram because y'all have an
yeah,
Instagram thing too.
it was a way for us to kind of have a show that didn't just keep us capsulated inside of the comic book world, which is going to be what this WWE, the pay-per-view review show is. It's going to be a way for us to do a show and kind of step away a little bit from the comic books, which is good because I think it gives us as creators a little bit of a fresh breath of air too, because sometimes, you need that. You do the same thing over and over, and sometimes you need something fresh too.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know about you, but I like wrestling. I grew up on wrestling. I had 6 uncles, and they all loved wrestling. So
Yeah.
I watched all the old school stuff. I can remember, Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, best out of three. I can remember, stuff like and it's like stuff like that. I loved growing up, and it was like, I can remember stuff. I remember when, and this is gonna be a gross image in your head, but I remember when Sid Vicious jumped off of the third.
Oh,
Off the third, was it the third or second? It was either the third or
I
second
think it
rope.
was the top rope. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
think it
jumped
was.
out, and then like his leg just, his ankle was like this is like,
It was sideways,
yeah, he was
man.
like flopping in the boot and stuff. And like I remember watching that live when it was on, and I was like, and I knew that was not part of the script or nothing. I was like, oh, he's hurt. Y'all need to go get that boy some milk.
Yeah, that was bad, bad, bad. He was kind of injury prone. He had a couple of accidents, but after that one, boy, he was never the same.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's probably one of the worst injuries I've seen wrestling. I think I've seen. I mean, there's been a few, especially the ones that you don't know, like when Stone Cold Steve Austin's neck got broke, and then you had the Owen Hart incident. All those kinds of things like that. But yeah, there's some rough ones, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Like getting on that show with you. I think me, you, C Wood, we're gonna be all doing it, right? Who else is gonna be on the show? Is Legend coming around for that?
Legend's gonna be on. I think Legend is on the show, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's Legend's show anyway, isn't it? But like all I know is that yeah, I like.
Well, yeah, I just don't know how far he's taking this whole retirement thing. So I don't know if he's sticking around for all the Comic Core shows or just.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I don't know. I kind of think like maybe he's just like I said, semi-retired. I would call it semi-retired because he's still gonna do some kind of things.
Yeah, he does a lot too, so I'm sure part of it is him just feeling kind of burnt out. I do that too sometimes. I feel burnt out, and you take a little break here and there and things like that. So hopefully it's nothing too serious, and we see him around just as much.
Yeah, because like I said, like that and I don't know, him doing his own show, which is cool. Like, and like to me, like I like doing shows, and like we do our format, like like I find that doing it every 2 weeks is easier to do a show. Sometimes it's just like because it's like it gives you more time, like to do other things that you need to do, like
Absolutely.
And it's like that's why I like the hunt, because the hunt, so you have 2 weeks to buy something for the hunt. You have 2 weeks to buy like
What's up, Big Line Cat?
a few books or whatever, so it's not really bad. So
yeah, no, and that was kind of hey, thank you very much, man. I am feeling a lot better. I appreciate that. Had that tooth pulled, and we're doing fairly well now. That was the thing for me with To Slab or Not to Slab is it's always hard to keep up from a financial standpoint. So I'll be on the show, and I'll be bringing to the table what I can every show, but I might not be able to bring.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any more excuses from you, Jeffrey, because you know what? You won the hunt with no book. No book.
Are we changing? Is it going to be the exact same show? Do you know? Are there going to be
like the slab or not the slab?
Yeah. Is there going to be any changes to it, or?
As far as I know, it's going to be just the same format as we did before. I mean, like.
So it's just like there's no winners or anything.
Yeah, there's no winners. It's just us showing our books and like if it's a slab worthy.
Oh, thank you very much, Komik-Blaster54, for saying that, because I wanted to give another shout out to Thoro Kuboro in case anybody hasn't been watching. He's been doing these dollar auctions that are really cool. He's putting out like 6 books at a time. They've got a letter there, A, B, C, D, E, maybe F. I can't think straight right now. But yeah, and then the first person after the starting line to claim that letter, they get that book. And he's basically putting like a pool box together for you. So you don't, it's not like you're buying one book for $1 and then you got to pay the $7 or whatever for it to get shipped right then. You can let it build up over,
Oh,
however
that is
big a
kind of
period.
cool.
Yeah, however big of a period of time you want, say you just want to watch, because he's doing it every day. He's trying to do it every day, this auction. And if you want to let it go for like a month and you plan on, being there every day and buying books and books, you can let it build up, and then you're paying, whatever the shipping cost is. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that,
That's
bad.
cool.
So if anybody's hasn't checked out Thora Kuboro's auctions he's doing, if you're catching this on the replay or something, go check him out. He's doing it's real fun and real cool. So
Big Lion Cat, what's up, bro, man? And he be doing some auctions too.
yeah, for
Crazy
sure.
books out too.
Uh-huh. Did you watch that? Was that auction last night? Boy, they took that one deep.
Yeah, they had a lot of good auctions.
Yeah,
Even Baked the Snake had a good auction too.
yeah, no,
Uh,
for sure.
my whole problem is like I watch them, but like I can bid, but it's like I choose not to. And I know they're good for good causes, and I'm not saying I'm trying to be cheap. It's I like to sleep in my bed. Okay,
Yeah,
because like
for
when I
sure.
buy like stuff, like all right, because when I buy stuff, it's like usually for the hunt or like the Grail show or whatever. But like it's just like, but it's like I buy it for those shows, but it's like I keep like stuff like like DS Comics told me like the best was like you have a budget that you set and you stay within that budget and you get decent looking books for the price that you pay and you keep your wife happy.
So they say, happy wife, happy life,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I don't have one yet, but I
And
totally
it's like
understand how
for a
that
while,
is.
like for a while there, I would be like real, like honestly, I haven't even really been like I've been to a few like I go to my buddy's LCS, but like I haven't really been to like any like of my other LCSs to pick up any new comic book day stuff or anything like that. Like I don't have any of the Naomi stuff. I don't have any of that stuff that's super like new or whatever that just came out. It's because
Right.
like I've really been focusing on getting stuff like like Iron Man 1, the Spider Man 50, stuff like that. That's kind of cool.
Thank you, Comic Sam. Appreciate you stopping by.
And it's like I just do like it's kind of like what Who Dat said. It's like stay focused on what you want to get. So it's like, which goes back to the list, the show that we're going to be doing Monday.
Yes. I know exactly how that is though. That's how I am with the Hulk. I gotta stay on that Hulk game. There was a while where I was trying to just grab everything, especially all the new stuff that comes out. And sometimes you just gotta realize that it's gonna be there. If when like it's patience. A lot of it's patience. And as a new collector, I didn't have any patience whatsoever. I was like, if I don't get this now, I'll probably never be able to see. But you're
And
gonna find it,
that's
man.
like, yeah. And it's like, it goes back to like you're trying to play catch up. And like, that's what I felt like, I was like, when I came back, I was like, I just learned about, CBCS, CGC, PGX, the do's and don'ts, yada, yada. And like, and it was like, from there, it was like, well, you don't have this book or you don't have that book, but I want to get this book and I got to get that book. And it's like, I mean, like, if you don't budget yourself and if you don't like keep stuff level headed, you could like lose your ass. Oh, excuse my language, but lose your ass.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I've had to start doing that too because I was putting like comic books ahead of other stuff that I needed to. Just like the simple things like oil change on my car, paying my cell phone bill or paying my car insurance or something like that. And it's like, well, that's not very smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You got to be responsible with it too and set yourself a budget and stay within that budget. And I'm not saying it's easy because it's not easy. I'd like to be able to just go buy every book that I'm looking for right now on eBay and stuff. But at the
oh
end of the day, you'll be able to find it when the time is right. Just got to be
yeah,
smart with things.
and that's that's true. And it's like you sit there and if you don't have a plan. Like, all right, like I said, it goes back to the like we do the hunt, but before we can hunt, there has to be a list, and that's what the list is going to be on the Comic Core channel, and to me, it's going to be like when I like right now, I have like a little list that I'm doing, that's like it's like obscure stuff that I look for, like when I'm hunting for a book. I don't have like when I went to C2E2, I was looking for a Golden Age cap. Everybody knows that. That's what I went there for. I didn't find it, so I had two backup plans. The backup plan, which everybody knows, was the X-Men 101, and then the other backup plan was Green Lantern #1. So
Right.
I went with option C because A and B were just like, well, A was unobtainable at the time, and B was just like it wasn't held up in the long run for me. So I went with option C. So
Thanks, Fuchsia. Have a good night. Yeah, good to see you, Hunter Thompson. Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, Huda, we know. Trust me, me and Tony are your biggest supporters, bro. We know you bring the heat every time.
Yep, it was a throwdown at the end of the hunt, and then the show stealer comes in with sweet chin music and steals the whole championship.
You know, what can I say? What can I say? Oh man, Biggie
What's up,
Shaq,
Biggie
what
Shaq?
up?
Biggie Shaq. We got to have him on as like like either I don't know. We got to get him on the wrestling show, like to get him on there, or like see what we can do, like to see if he can just be on there as a host or whatever. But we'll see, because like his shows are like just like promos, like the whole
What's
show.
up, Mr. Gretzky? Yeah, no, for sure. Biggie Shaq, we gotta get him on something.
Yeah,
How
but
you
yeah,
doing tonight, Mr. Gretzky?
like I can tell you a book on my list right now. Like, all right, Jeffrey, what's like one book that you're looking for on your list? Because like one book on my list right now that I've been looking for is Amazing Spider-Man 15, the first appearance of Craven. Because
Yeah.
that's our mascot on the hunt. So I would like to own that book.
One that I have been looking for is nothing crazy, but I'm trying to find it in the wild, and that's the Web of Spider-Man issue 70, Spider Hulk. I
Oh
haven't
yeah, yeah. The one is that the one where he's busting through the wall or whatever, and he's got like
he's like on the cover, yeah, and I haven't been able to find it in the wild. It's not like rare or expensive or anything. It's just one that I don't see around a lot, and that is one that I've been hunting for, and. What's funny is remember at the beginning of the year when we did like our grails for the year, we picked like 9 books and put them on our Instagram or whatever.
yeah.
I've pretty much gotten all those already, and that's one of them that was on there that I haven't gotten yet. So hey, Ed D Comics and Games, good to see you, Ed. Thanks for stopping by, man. Always a pleasure seeing you, man.
Yeah, so like that was like like on my list, like I got almost everything on my list except for like X-Men 1, and like that's gonna be like a whole nother conversation. Like
Right. You got the chat open right now? Yeah.
yeah.
Who that's calling you out?
What? Oh, what? Oh, he wants to be the first 2 times.
Yeah, because if you smell,
Okay, he could be the first because like I hadn't had a second appearance. Well, I actually have because Komikhan54, and then I believe it's it has to be after White Whale because White Whale says he's gonna be ready for me because he's going to I think it's MegaCon or something like that.
He's gonna come on the show finally.
Yeah, he's gonna come on the hunt. Yeah, he said he's gonna be ready for the hunt. So
good, Mr. Gretzky. Glad you're doing well, man.
yeah. So White Whale was like, he said he's gonna bring it, and I was like, okay, well, I'll be ready. And he's like, I know you will.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know what you're gonna see on the hunt, man. Like I said, who that pulled out the first appearance of Iron Man? I pulled out Iron Man 1, and I pulled out we pulled out all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's like you never know what you're gonna see, and it's like one of these days.
I pulled out nothing.
I know. And, the Invisible Book is just like what? But like, yeah, you never know. One day, I'm waiting for someday somebody pull out Amazing Fantasy 15 and just be like, here, look, here you go. Be like, okay.
Well, whew, that I'd like to see that too. Honestly, that would be pretty awesome.
Yep.
find that in the wild. That'd be some stuff.
Man,
I found a book in the wild this week that I'll be bringing to the hunt on Friday. I was pretty happy about. It's
that's the
been
one you showed me.
yeah. I've been looking at that one, and I've been passing on it, and it's been going up in price, and
Yeah.
I was pretty stoked to get it. So,
well, I can say this: it's better than the one I got. But I got one, but it's better than the one I got, though.
yeah, and that's my thing is I was just happy to get that one, and it's probably not in super great condition. I'd put it at a 4.5 to 5.5 range, but it's cool. It was good to have.
Well, I got my my hustle book for the hunt, and like I said, the only person that's seen it is Thanatos, and Thanatos was like,
I got if Thanatos has seen it, that gives me an idea of what it might be, though.
See, and that's why I'm just like, I don't want to show anybody else because I was going to show White Whale, but I was like, White Whale, he's a son of dragon, just like JD. He might tell JD.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that.
So, and I know Thanatos is too, but I'm just like, I don't think that, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's a cool book, but it's just like one of those things, like when you're
Thanks for stopping by, Biggie.
Yeah, when you're on the hunt, you can't show your books really at all. Like it's like,
No,
it kills me sometimes. And it's like you're sitting on this cool book and you can't show nobody. So, man,
that's awesome, Mr. Gretzky. I got like 5 Incredible Hulk slabs, I think, somewhere around that range. 5 maybe.
21. Yeah, you're not big on slabs, Jeffrey, huh?
No, like a couple of them. 2 of my slabs were gifts from JoJo. One was a gift from Bueller. One was one I bought for the hunt, and then one was one I bought when I first got back into collecting. So,
Heck yeah.
Oh, then I got that one from you too, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I just put them in slabs because I don't know, usually I just display it. That's how I just like to have it.
Yeah, no, like they do. They look cool, and when you're holding them, they feel they feel awesome when you're holding them in your hand. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does feel cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. Yeah, and that is Booster Gold 1 for people looking. Don't try to figure out what it is. It's Booster Gold 1. I like Booster Gold, as you can tell. It's Booster Gold and Ted Cord Blue Beetle, not that other guy, Ted Cord.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye out for that Booster Gold book just in case, see it around and try to pick it up. But
they keep talking about there was talk about something he's gonna make an appearance on somebody's TV show. Somebody's TV show. I don't know. They were talking about on the streaming service or something like that. Yeah,
one of those DC ones.
Yeah, I think so. And it's but he's they should just do the movie with them too, and not the Jaime Ramirez or whatever Blue Beetle, Ted Cord before he gets killed. Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys I always thought they should have brought back was Ted Cord. I was like, they should bring the original Blue Beetle back because he was at least they did in the Blackest Night, and it was kind of messed up because it was oh, so. Oh, he was supposed to be on Legends of Tomorrow, because what is it? Somebody in, I want to say somebody's his son. I can't remember, but I can't remember. I don't think it's Rip Hunter. I want to say it is, but I don't think it is. But he has a son that's something like a time traveler or something like that. But yeah, Legends of Tomorrow, Booster Gold. Yeah, Booster Gold. I like him. I like some obscure characters sometimes. I like Booster Gold. I like Alpha Flight. So does White Whale. White Whale likes Alpha Flight too. So it's that's one of those groups that just kind of underutilized.
Yeah, I think it's good to have those. I'm
he's Rip Hunter's son. Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
I'm a big Beta Ray Bill fan. He's fairly obscure. He's gotten a little more popular lately, but that's one of my biggest, obscure characters that I follow.
So yeah, well, That's like they teased him in, what was it, Thor Ragnarok? They had it. Well, they kind of like had him on the statue or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would have been cool to see, like, just like to have him in the arena at least, to fight the Hulk, or at least made an appearance, a cameo appearance or something.
Yeah, they keep saying that he might show up, and Donny Cates kind of resurrected him again in that Death of the Inhuman series, and he's in that new Guardians of the Galaxy series now. So you never know, but
Heck yeah.
there's a couple of like independent ones that I enjoy, like Scud the Disposable Assassin and stuff like that. But
Now I've seen that book like in different prices. Like I've seen like
well, because there's different prints, and they all look exactly the same too.
okay. Kind of like the Killing Joke, how it's got like different prints, but
Yeah.
you want the green one or whatever it is. It's the green one that you want. I think that's
Like,
the first print.
the first print is the harder to come by, the one that's more harder to come by, and then there's a second print which is basically the exact same issue, except like the writing is, there's a part where the writing on the second print is like red and it was like yellow on the first print, something like that. So
That's crazy, and that's like weird. Another thing, like the print runs of things, like how sometimes like the first print is less valuable than the second print or the third print.
right, well, because if you think about it, it's, they say there's, oh well, there's less printed or something like that, but real in retrospect, like you're looking at it, there's more printed of that book when you start making second, third, and fourth printings. So technically, there's it increases the amount of issues of that book, but it's only like, okay, there was a smaller second print run, but like
Yeah,
altogether, there's still a lot of copies of that issue. So
yeah, that's what, and it's like because it's like that's like Batman 608, where it's like, because I have the one where it's like Batman swinging on the bat line or whatever, and he's got his foot kicked out, and it's done by
yeah,
Jim Lee, and it's the beginning of the Hush storyline. But the Money Book is, and it's the Money Book. That's what everybody calls it. The Money Book is the second print where Batman's like standing on like top of a building, and his
is he
cape,
like crouched or something on top of the
yeah, like
building?
where like his cape is blowing in the wind or something like that. But it's like that book is worth more than the first print, because they say like the second print is like more, I don't know. But then it also like counter it like looks like it's like, because there's a Superman one that I have that one too, and the Superman one looks just like the Batman one, but it's just like they're like opposite facing. But that second print of the 608 is supposedly the better one of the two, even though the first print. So those are just
Yeah,
like weird things.
yeah,
Well, heck, like was it Incredible Hulk 377?
yep.
But the third print is like worth like $500 raw or something like that.
Yeah, and it's the I mean they're it's the exact same cover, just with different colors. I have the first and I think the second print, and it's the third print I believe is like the baby crap green color,
Yeah,
something
it's
like
like the
that.
one.
That's
It's
the
like,
one that I don't have. I've got the bright neon green and then the black one. What's
yeah,
up, Dre Boogie? How you doing tonight, bud?
yeah. I just got the first one. I just got the green, the lime green one, and then it's got the black one is the second print or whatever is the black cover.
Yeah, I only had the bright green one, and then issues. I got issues with selling some books, so I bought the second print copy off of him, the black cover.
Yeah, because that's like the third print. It's like that weird, like just crazy, nasty color, but everybody wants it though.
Yeah, and I've got the, I don't know, like, see, and then like the I don't I to this, to me it doesn't make it, I don't understand why it would make a difference, but like there's direct edition and there's newsstand, right? Like, because for that 377 I have both. I have the direct edition and the newsstand. But like if it's one, like some books, like it makes a difference, right? Whether it's direct or newsstand.
Yeah. It's
And
like
to me,
that. Like that Booster Gold is a newsstand, so it's better than the direct edition, I guess.
I
So,
guess less of them or harder to
well, it's
find them
weird.
in,
Like,
it's like harder to find them in good shape, I think. Is that
well,
what it
look, see,
is?
like they didn't do it back here then. Like they didn't do it on these books back in the day. They just sent them out.
Right.
Like that didn't happen, I guess, what, to like 70s, like 70s, 80s, and stuff, or something like that. Late 70s. early 80s. So, but yeah, newsstand. I like newsstand anyway, so I guess it's just a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
It just means I get like newsstand means it survived a lot more stuff.
Right, that's what I say, because I guess like a newsstand is one that people are picking at and going through, right? So it makes it harder to find them in good condition or something.
Yeah, yeah. Because like a direct edition went straight to like a comic book store or whatever, or like wherever it's supposed to go, it went straight there. Newsstand is like, oh, it's sitting on like like I guess like those back in the 80s when they had those newsstands like you'd walk up to like in New York or whatever, and you
Yeah.
pick up a comic book or whatever you could find.
Well, it's like back in the day, you remember in the back of the comic books, like you could actually order them through Marvel and have them sent directly to your house too. I remember always being a kid and I'd read a comic book and at the end of it I'd be looking, I was like, oh man, boy, I wish I could have a subscription to the Incredible Hulk and just have them mailed to my house every month. Things
Exactly.
like that.
That would have been cool back in the day. And it was just like, I don't know. I remember like I would go like as a kid I would go to the comic store, but I wouldn't go frequently enough to get like a subscription. And then
Yeah.
like the pool thing that wasn't happening because my like I didn't have a pool list. So I was like, nope, not happening because I just bought whatever I could buy. At the
Yeah, no, for sure.
that I would go.
Yeah,
So
I was the same way, man. I didn't go a lot, and when I did go, I'd buy like one comic book, and we're talking like I'd go once every couple months, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to get this book, and I'd buy a random book out of the back, the back issue bins because I didn't know anything about anything. I'd just probably I'd go through the Incredible Hulk section and find the cover I liked the best, and that'd be the book I'd get.
yeah, that's how I was, and it's like that. I think that's why my collecting's the way it is because like I have no preference between Marvel and DC. I like both, and it's not that if I was to say like if I had to pick one, if I had to choose a side, I would probably have to pick like Marvel because like I like Marvel, like they have so like Captain Marvel's my favorite character, and it's like but if I was to say DC, Booster Gold is my favorite character in DC.
Right. Well, and I'm the same way. Like I would pick Marvel all day just because like I love the Incredible Hulk, and I'm gonna take whichever side he's on, hands down. But I do enjoy some DC books. As much as I talk about how much I love Marvel, there's a few, DC things that I do enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I like to give a couple quick shout outs to these channels. Uh Too Old to Play with Toys. I'd like to give him a shout out. Uh Go look at his channel. It's pretty cool. He does CGC unboxings and he's new to the community, as well as Towns End Comics. And Towns End Comics is CGC in his collection because he has two kids in college and he's doing unboxings and he's new to the community. And I just like to like welcome people that start doing videos that and like have fun doing this stuff and come to the community. And his kind of like the Townsend guy is kind of cool because it's like he's doing it because his kids are in college, and it reminded me like I'm buying all this stuff because my kids or whatever so whenever I'm not around they'll have like something be like, oh hey dad left us this and this will be always here for us to remember him by or for hard times if we have to do something to get rid of it or whatever.
What are they? What's the name of the channels?
Towns End Comics. Like, and let me see what's it. Hold on, I'll put it in the chat.
Townsend Comics. There you got like 77 subscribers.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Too Old for Toys or Too Old to Play with Toys or
Yeah, too old to play. It's like T. Like I mean, not T, but two. It's the number. So it's too old to play with toys. It's always two, like two. Do I live in a brick house? No, my fireplace is like right here, and then like all this is like my mantle, and like my fireplace is like literally right here. So it's like all this is brick right here, but like if you go past like this part, it's just like, well, I mean, like the outside is sort of brick, I guess, but like it just depends. But the inside right here is brick because of the fireplace. And no, I don't start a fire with my slabs all sitting up here, but my fireplace is like right like here, like where my hand is at, and like they look like they're close, but they're kind of farther away than what they should be. Yeah, and did you find the too old to play with toys?
No.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find him.
Yeah, you know how YouTube is, man. Unless you got like millions of freaking followers, it's hard to find.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if
smaller channels.
I know it's in my history because I watched it today. Hold on, people. Fine. Oh wow, where's that? That's the only thing. Like, my kids subscribes to so much stuff on my YouTube channel. It's ridiculous. It's like I look on here and I'm like, okay, oh, I found him. Cool. Sweet, found it. Oops.
Yeah, Knights of Old. I hear a lot of people talking about the Game of Thrones tonight. I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones myself.
And that is Too Old to Play with Toys. That's his YouTube channel. So yeah, anyway, those guys are new to the community, and they're doing some CGC unboxings. And if you want to check them out, they're pretty cool. So I'd like to give shout outs to like little channels or whatever, help out the community, invite people to the community. It's always pretty cool to have new people come along and show their collection and show their love and passion for this thing that we all do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, like if it wasn't for people like the Great Legend giving us shout outs, like we probably wouldn't be as far along with our channels as we are now.
Yep. Action Comics, yeah, Action Comics, like all the like Superman is like Superman, Batman. Those are like, whew, those are expensive books to delve into.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like because those are like the front runners, like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and there's like one more that's like super, like if you get into like if you get into their like collecting of it, it's just like super crazy.
Yeah, not yet Knights of Old. I am getting close. I do have a complete like run from issue number 331 all the way through 474, and I believe that I am missing 50 issues, 50-ish, 50 to 60 issues before I have a full set, including the first 6 issues, which I probably won't own. But Mr. Gretzky was kind enough to send me the hardcover copy of the first 6 issues, which will probably be what I consider my first 6. Notable. Well, McFarlane's are notable for the covers. If you're looking for stories, my favorite stories start right around issue 300, where the Incredible Hulk gets tossed out up into the crossroads by Doctor Strange, which ultimately leads into like the 377 storyline where he comes back as Professor Hulk, because he comes back, and that's issue 324 is when he first turns into the Gray Hulk, and then that leads into the Joe Fixit series, which ultimately leads back into the Professor Hulk storyline. So I really enjoy that part of the run, issue 300 up.
See, that's why Jeffrey is the aficionado on the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, you know, I don't know everything, but I try to know as much as I can.
All I know is Rick Jones is a very appreciated person.
You know, so underappreciated, and that's one of the things why I really think those Incredible Hulk movies have never taken off, because they always try to play out that love relationship with him and Betty Banner and all this. He's needed that sidekick character, man. He's needed that Rick Jones there to lighten up the mood, to make jokes. And we all know that Rick Jones eventually becomes Captain Marvel. So like how could like why can't they bring that into the picture too? Like Rick Jones was a Hulk. He was the Incredible Hulk for a while. Then he becomes Atom Bomb, the Blue Hulk in the newer series. He's been Captain Marvel. He's worked with the Avengers alongside Captain America. So he'd be a great character to bring into the Marvel universe, and it'd be a great partnership to bring into the Incredible Hulk movies. So
yeah, that's why I never liked the first Hulk movies, because they never had Rick Jones. Like the reason he went out on the field was because Rick Jones was sitting out on the field playing his harmonica or something like that, just hanging out.
yeah, and the bomb's about to go off, and that's when Bruce Banner realizes there's some punk kid sitting out there on the base right where the bomb's about to explode, and runs out there to save him. So.
And see,
Yeah, Doc Samson. If you're not following the new Immortal Hulk lines, Doc Samson has just returned. He is back in the storylines. His first appearance was in issue number 141, which a friend of mine, Mr. Tony Sanders, so kindly sent me for my birthday. And so he is back into the series. The Immortal Hulk series is pretty much bringing back everybody who has been associated as a Hulk, which we're talking about Betty Ross, the Red Hulk, Rick Jones, who was the Blue Hulk. They've just reintroduced Thunderbolt Ross, I can't think, which was the Red Hulk. And I've yet to hear anything about Jennifer, the Green She-Hulk, so that would be Bruce Banner's cousin. So, but I think that they're working on probably bringing them all back.
Okay, now didn't they kill her too, in Civil War 2 or 3 or whatever Civil War it was? Or
I'm not sure about that one.
I know they killed Rhodey for a while, but he's back because he was in that Captain Marvel book that I had, the Dumpster Fire, and so he was in that.
Yeah.
So they brought him back, so I'm assuming they're going to bring her back too, because I believe she did die, because somebody said I can't remember how, but they said she died, but I can't remember how it was. But I don't know. I have to go back and look at it. But I remember her something about her dying and Rhodey died in Civil War 2 or whatever it was, or 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But,
I only have the Civil War 2, 3 where the Hulk dies, so I'm still piecing some of those together because
Arrow. Just when that happened, I was like, okay, he got killed by the Hulk. I mean, I know that he was Bruce Banner at the time or whatever, and he shot him in the head with the arrow or whatever, and I was just like, so you mean Thunderbolt Ross did all that stuff, and that's all it took?
Yeah, no joke, right? I mean, it was a special tip on that arrow, but still, whatever. Five Hulk villains off the top of my head. I'll start with number one.
I want to name one.
Okay, General Ross, in my opinion, is the number one villain because he's basically in every issue trying to wipe out.
I'll tell you who number two is. Number two, and it's not the Abomination. It's the Leader. The Leader's number 2.
Yep, I can live with that one. I'm going to go Abomination, probably 3. Then I think Rhino. Rhino's always been a big hill.
What about the Juggernaut?
He was going to be up there too. I would definitely put him up there with.
So you say it would be a tie for Abomination and no, for
For Rhino and Juggernaut, they're probably
tied.
tied-ish, yeah,
So
something like
4.
that. Yeah, and then there's like the Wendigo. They've had a bunch of run-ins. There's the UFOs. They've had a bunch of run-ins with the UFOs, and so the Hulk has never had like a consistent, other than General Ross, he's never had like a consistent like villain that he's always had to deal with. So, I mean, it even depends on how you want to classify villains, because Hulk's always had a problem with Thing. Hulk's always had a problem with Wolverine. I know those guys aren't villains, but I mean, they've battled a few times, and it's been pretty epic. So,
oh yeah, and I think that's like I don't know, like when you see like a superhero fight another superhero, it's like all right, like just like the Superman versus Shazam, and it's like you enjoy it because it's like it's good versus good or whatever, but it's like you always want to see like who could best who, or who's like who could outdo who. That's that's why I always laugh about the Guy Gardner thing, because people are like, well, why do you like Guy Gardner, and why is Guy Gardner like you're one of your top Green Lanterns? I was like, because Guy Gardner is a jerk. He talks a lot of smack. He can back up some of it, but the one time that he thought he could back something up was when he was talking smack to Batman, and Batman knocked him out with one punch, and he didn't even know what happened.
Right.
And it was just like that moment was when I was like, okay, Guy Gardner, I like Guy Gardner. And it was like not for the fact that he was talking smack to Batman, but the fact that he had the balls to do it, and then gets knocked out, and then like just like whatever, plays it off.
Yeah.
So
I know that there's been a couple of not recent, but recently there's been a couple of issues of that Guy Gardner series that have been picking up heat too. I don't know enough about them to know which ones, but
I know.
Do you use a Key Collector app?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do use that Key Collector app.
I used to. Like I quit because I just got
over it. I use it for like to look up like certain stuff, like like either like appearances or like certain issues that I'm looking for, or and I really don't use it for like like how I'm not like I don't really use it for like the like how it has a spec thing on there or whatever, but like I see it anyway because it's like it's on Instagram, people post stuff or whatever. That's like the Thor 390 where Cap picks up the hammer.
Yeah.
And, if you go back on my channel, I have videos talking about. I was like, get that book because it's gonna. And then what happened? It's like I think it's like a $70 book right now, like $60-$70 book, and it's just a Thor 390. Just where it's like nothing. Just besides the fact that Captain America wields the hammer, and so they're thinking like that's speculation that he's going to do it, and he's going to wield the hammer in this Endgame movie or whatever. And then like they're specking on the Professor Hulk, they're specking on
on Hulk holding. They're specking on Hulk holding the
Infinity Gauntlet and Iron Man too. They got one where they got Iron Man where there's a cover where it's like Avengers 17.
Yeah, I've heard that. What they have to do is, I mean, this is total spec, but I've heard that they go and they actually make another Infinity Gauntlet, just like they went back and made Thor another hammer, and which I don't remember what movie that was, but they go back and they make another Infinity Gauntlet to put the stones in or something like that. And so there's all kinds of speculation. I'm not sure like what's going to happen. I'm excited though for that movie. I really am.
I don't know. I took the day off from work.
Really? Hey, what's up, John? Nice.
John's
what days it come out? It comes out the 25th, right?
Yeah, 25th or something like that. I know it's like where I live at, they're doing like the early. It comes out Thursday.
Do you already have your tickets?
Oh no. Like I go to like this little theater like where nobody really goes to, but like where I go to, it's like go at your. It's not really like go at your own risk. It's like more of a like nobody really goes there because the neighborhood's not really that nice. But I go there because the theater's empty.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I wonder if I can buy my tickets for it now.
So it's like I don't know. It's like the same place me and my kids always go. They have 3D movies and everything. It's not really. It's like I said. It's not like it's not AMC theater. It's just like this like little family owned like local place that I go to, and like they own it, and they're like they've had it for years or whatever. But like, so I just support local business, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, see, it's coming out Thursday, but I'm going Friday. I'm actually, I was off Thursday, but I switched it because I was like, I'll just do it Friday. I'll go Friday, like early in the like day, and go watch it with my kids. Because
Right.
yes, I do check my kids out of school to go watch Marvel movies.
Why not? Why not?
They're like, why are they being checked out? We have an appointment with Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Oh no, like there should be like a no spoiler clause on everybody's like nobody should be talking about this should be like whenever people used to go watch Scream movies and like, you didn't want to know who the killer was and people would be like quiet and not say nothing when they were coming out of the theater. So, like or like, Star Wars whenever Luke, finds out that his dad is Darth Vader and people come out and they don't say nothing, that's how it should be. Nobody should say nothing. Nobody should be posting anything. Nobody should be, spoiling anything for anybody. And there's always that one person that wants to be like, oh, I got early access and I'm going to spoil it for everybody and tell you what happened. We don't want to know.
No, not at all, man. Do not.
I mean, we waited since Iron Man 1. Actually a little bit before Iron Man 1. Actually, you could say we've been waiting since the Hulk, the first Hulk movie. So I'm
pretty much.
So since the first Hulk movie, all the way till now, we've been waiting for the end of this whole thing to come to an end. And I'll be happy and sad at the same time. Happy that it's like come to an end, that we'll see the conclusion, but sad that it's coming to an end and we'll see the conclusion. But yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to order mine right after we get offline. Bam.
Ooh, my favorite Star Wars movie has it's always been I think I'd say Return of the Jedi. Something about Return of the Jedi I always like. The first one I love, the first one's, always gonna be good because it's the start of the series or whatever. Well, not really the start if you go chronologically, but but Return of the Jedi. And Empire Strikes Back is good too, yeah. He gonna have me on here tonight watching old stuff. Because today I watched all of Men in Black. I watched Men in Black 1 through 3. And like I just watch and like I'm sitting there watching it and it's like I realized that these movies are like, all right, Men in Black 1 came out in 1995. Men in Black 2 came out in 2002. Men in Black 3 came out 2012. I was like, man, there's like gaps of time between these movies. Oh, do my kids like Star Wars? Yes, they like Star Wars. They like anime. They like superhero movies. They like they're not really into Star Trek though, because like I watched like the Orville, and like I like the Orville because it's just like a generic. If you've never seen the Orville, it's done by Seth MacFarlane, the guy behind Family Guy, and it's like a generic, watered down but funny version of Star Trek. It's the Orville, and like I watched that, and my kids can't stand that show, but I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Because like if you've ever seen like Star Trek, Star Wars, and you enjoy anything like that, watch the Orville because it's just like there's stuff in there where it's like, okay, what if Captain Kirk did this, or what if, and then it's like they play off of that, like like, oh, this happens in this situation, and it's funny to me. Yeah. They like Star Wars. They don't really like Star Trek. They can't. So like I said, they don't like. Yeah, I already know they don't like Star Trek.
I haven't watched a lot of Star Trek myself.
like, see, I've watched both, but I remember growing up on Star Wars, so Star Wars
Yeah.
is more of my favorite, and it's like more of a to me, Star Wars is more of a better story than Star Trek. Star Trek is just like, oh, we're scientists and explorers, but we still fight if we have to. If we're
Right.
provoked, we'll fight you. And Star Wars is more like if you, all right, Star Wars is like I like Star Wars because it reminds me of like medieval times, but in the future, like because you have the Jedi or knights basically. You had like the Empire, you had the Republic, and it was like just like the way they set it up is like anybody can enjoy it. So it reminded me like a medieval thing, but it was more spacey. And I like space and aliens and stuff. So it hands down Star Wars for me. So and I'd say the one that I like the least out of Star Wars is what's the one with Jar Jar Binks. That's the one. I don't like that. I don't like him.
That's like the first one, I think, or isn't it?
No, I can't remember. It's like the remakes or the new ones. I think
Yeah.
it's the first one. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think
like
I don't know for sure.
now, hey, I've watched Star Trek like the Scott Bakula one where like it's supposed to be like the whatever, but I haven't watched the new series that's out on NBC or whatever it is, ABC, the new one out. Uh, I haven't seen that one yet, but I've seen the one with Scott Bakula that used to be on Netflix, and that's not really that bad. I enjoyed it. It was like I watched it from the first episode to the last. It was pretty enjoyable, but like I said, it's but I'm more like like they don't have like Star Wars. Like I watched the Solo movie, and it wasn't bad. I didn't think it was that bad. I liked it. I liked the interaction between him and Lando, and like they needed more Lando. That's what the problem was. Not enough Lando. And the Kessel Run was cool. I liked how they showed finally the Kessel Run. So I don't know, like some of the Star Wars, some of them people don't like them, some people do. I don't know. Just depends on your flavor of people, man.
Right.
Yeah. Marvel Joe, what's up?
Hey, Marvel Joe.
So, if anybody missed it, the great legend is retired. I say semi-retired because I'm gonna get him on the show.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
What the? Why is this telling me
oh,
I just bought a ticket to a movie theater in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I hope you didn't.
Oh damn it! What? I can't believe I just did
Oh,
that.
the Hulk movie with Ed Norton was actually pretty good. Yes, it was actually Ed Norton was good.
Gosh,
The if
dang it.
you
How did I manage to do that?
cancel the order. If you've
Uh,
actually seen like the Eric Bana Hulk movie, which was horrible, like this one's way more of an improvement. Which the it has the Abomination in it, which and then like it has hints of the leader too. But it's like um, and I actually thought that they were going to use Ed Norton as the Hulk, as in the Avengers and stuff like that going forward, because like he actually did a pretty good job. But like they switched him out. Well, actually, he didn't want to do it because like he wanted to do something else, so it conflicted with something that he was wanting to do. So they that's when they got Ruffalo to do the Hulk. So, but they keep saying that there'll never be like another Hulk movie. Like that's it. Yeah, the Edward Norton movie was much better. Jeffrey, did you really order a ticket in Knoxville, Tennessee?
yes, you don't. You can't. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh.
Can you cancel it?
I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Was it through PayPal?
No, it was through the Regal Cinemas.
Oh, okay. Well, you should be able to cancel it, or like tell them that you got the wrong one.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I know.
Yeah, it actually like that. Ed Norton, yeah, that because and then at the end of that one with Ed Norton and like Tony Stark in that one, or Jeffrey.
What? I'm sorry. What did you say?
At the end of the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton and Tony Stark at the end of that one, or is it, or which one?
Yeah, him and Samuel L. Jackson. They like come in and talk to him. I think right at the end of it.
I think so. So yeah, that one does kind of tie. That one does tie into the MCU, but not the first one though. The first one doesn't. The Eric Bana one.
Or no, they come and they talk to General Ross. I think at the end of it, something like that. Oh, okay. Here, request refund.
Yep, request your refund.
Cancel order.
So yeah, well that one is gonna be like I don't know, like yeah, the Incredible Hulk, that's a good one. The movie, I enjoy it. Like I didn't have a problem watching it, so it's pretty, like I said, if you watch the horrible first one, just go ahead and just watch the second one because it's way better.
Right.
And sometimes like there's rarities where like the second movie is better than the first. I will argue the day they quit making Spider-Man movies that Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire was the perfect Spider-Man movie because it had like Doc Ock was perfect, the story was great. Tobey, like, this was just like one of the best movies. Like, go back and watch it. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it. Don't watch Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. Don't watch 3. And the funny thing is that 3, even though how bad it was with the black suit and the horrible Venom and the Sandman and all that stuff and the horrible dancing, made more money than the first 2 movies. Do you believe? Go look it up. I'm serious. 3 made more money than the first 2 movies. So 3 was actually the most successful Spider-Man movie from the Tobey Maguire series, which is crazy. But 2 was the best story. So go back and watch 2 and just watch for yourself and let me know. Because I'll tell you, my kids to this day will argue, and they've seen all the Spider-Man movies. My kids have seen them all, and they'll go, and they swear, they're like, yo, hey, the Doc Ock story was the best one. Like you felt for the villain, but you were like, when they carry Peter through the subway, like on that subway train, and like he's got no mask on, and they're like, oh, he's a kid, and they set him down and stuff. Come on, man. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. See, yep. That's Knights of Old knows what I'm talking about. Knows exactly what. Yep. Spider-Man 2 was the best. But we need to get off here because we've been running kind of late. Well, like I said, we will be doing the list tomorrow night. We'll be doing the list on Comic Core channel with John's Comics with Kids. TJ and who that? Jeffrey, you'll be there. JD should be there.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, we'll be doing the list tomorrow night, and then also what list? You'll find out tomorrow. So we'll be doing the list, and as we said before, we'd like to thank the great legend for everything he's done for the community, and wish him well in his retirement.
Yes, sir.
Even though he's going to be on the show with us, we'll get him on something. But yeah, and we'll be doing the list. We'll be doing also. We haven't came up with the name for the wrestling show yet, but Jeffrey will be there. I'll be there. C. Woodard will be there, and a few other people. And it's the Knights of Old list of what? It's a.
I want to tell you what the books we're hunting for, basically.
Yeah, the books that we're hunting for. Like it's before you can go on the hunt, you got to have a list. So, but we'll catch you guys later. And see
thank you all for stopping by.
Hey, Pages Film and Plastics, man. Good to see you, bro. We're about to head out, but this has been Bro Talk. We'll catch you next time. Whenever we can, we just pop up when we can. And y'all have a good